My name is Laura, and I'm coming to you from the Nelson and District Seniors Coordinating Society, where I work as the office manager. I took over for Marjut, who retired after working here for 12 years. The Nelson and District Seniors Coordinating Society is happy to be working with Shaw to shine a spotlight on seniors society and on seniors topics of interest. You can find out more information about our nonprofit programs or suggest a topic that you'd like to see on our show. You can find that on our website at nelsonseniors.ca. The program you're watching will also be available on the Shaw Spotlight community link on YouTube. Stay tuned for another episode of Seniors Matter, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Andrew Brown at the Nelson and District Seniors Coordinating Society. Next up on the program, we'll hear all about the Second Winds Choir, and we'll experience a little of their talented members in action.
Second Wind was started by a group out at the Harrop-Balfour area about 1996, and it started with a pianist who decided to go to the senior home down at Willowhaven and play for them. She's a beautiful piano player, and then she needed someone to replace her, so she got Mac Mackay, who is still our piano player, and he took over when she was away, and then people started joining in to take part. So after Willowhaven closed down, or during the time perhaps, Jubilee was opened, so Jubilee became another one that they began to visit. And by the time I joined the group about 2007, I guess it was, they were going to Jubilee, Mountain Lakes, and Broader Horizons. Yeah. So then, when they built this place, we were asked if we would come here. So every Friday we go to one of the different senior homes in the Nelson area. When we all started, our average age was probably around 70, and then it became 75, and now it's 82 average. So you can get appreciation. Plus, it's no longer just piano and singers, it's now about 9 different instruments and many singers. So when we all get together, there's about 37 of us. When they first started at Willowhaven, they were called the Willowhaven Warblers. And then Nancy and I were trying to figure out where Second Wind came from, and we don't know. Somebody, I think, suggested The Last Gasp. But I think they thought Second Wind, and it's so true. When you've got an average age of 82, we all are enjoying our second wind, but music makes you that way. We get together the first Wednesday of every month. The Covenant Church at Balfour has very kindly allowed us to use their lovely facility. So that's where we do our practice on a Wednesday morning, once at the beginning of each month. All the instrumentalists more or less get their own music ready. A group of them work together a lot, and they play a lot together, which is fun. And that's just about it. And then as we progress from Jubilee to Broader Horizons to Mountain Lakes to here, by the time we get here, we're pretty good. We've done the same program 4 times. Well, I put the program together, but I do it the way it's always been done, which was the music from the 40s and the 50s and the 30s. But now there's a few more younger people in the group. Lauren Westnich, for example, he's not here this month, unfortunately, but he plays the guitar. He's always looking for something from the 50s or 60s so he can say, I know Linda wants everything to be from, from 40s, but he said, I figure this one's just about there. So we just have a lot of fun. That's what we're here for. We're sing-along. We're not sing-to. So this is what we sort of concentrate on.
Ago, me mother sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old-fashioned way. And I'd give the world if she could sing that song to me this day.
We've become a family, so I just enjoy their companionship, their dedication, and their talent. It's a group of many talents that don't want to put down their voices, their instruments, or whatever. And this is how they're keeping it going. And it's turned out to be a very, very lovely group.
Today I'd like to give a few fire safety tips for seniors, and we'll cover a couple different topics, and hopefully your audience will find that helpful. Kitchen fires do happen. They happen to the best of us. So if your pan or your pot catches on fire, have a lid handy and just put the lid over top of it. That'll smother the fire. There are other things you can do. One thing that's really important is never take that burning pot to take it outside, because I've seen too many cases where the material that's burning falls on the floor, burns the people who are carrying it, as well as starts a trail of fire throughout the house. So don't move that pot or pan at all. Also, if you're wearing loose clothing, especially if it's loose sleeves, those sort of things, you don't want to be working around the stove or in the oven with those. So no loose sleeves, no loose clothing. Use oven mitts, because obviously things can be hot. It takes a while, and use oven mitts. We love it when we walk into people's homes and they have a small fire extinguisher just outside or very near the kitchen, so that if there's a fire on the stove or something, they can use that to put it out as well. Yeah, and the other thing we want to say, certainly some seniors, if they're taking some medication and they feel drowsy, this goes for anybody in fact, if you're feeling drowsy, or if you're on taking any alcohol and you're feeling drowsy, don't cook. Just leave it, wait till you're feeling where you have everything, all your capacities about you, and then cook. So from time to time, it can happen. We do come across that where someone's cooking, or they're, for some reason, they're at a barbecue or something and their clothes catch on fire. So it is like, don't run, because all you're gonna do is keep feeding that fire that's on your clothes. Just simply get down to the floor and roll around. Roll over, back and forth. If you have a towel, if you're not comfortable getting on the floor, you can smother it with a towel, wherever it is. And then you're going to probably have some burns. Continue to put cool water on that for 3 to 5 minutes and get medical help. We do have a City of Nelson website with a Nelson Fire and Rescue Services portion on there, so you're welcome to go there to find more information. There's also the Fire Commissioner Office of British Columbia. You can go to that website, and there are a number of resources out there.
The next segment we're going to watch today is with the wonderful Dr. Ray McCortoff, who is a chiropractor. He's going to talk about the importance of spinal health to seniors.
Chiropractic is a healthcare profession concerned with the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of neuromusculoskeletal disorders of the spine and the effect of these disorders on general health. We focus on the relationship between structure, primarily the spine, and function, as coordinated by the nervous system, and how that relationship affects the restoration and preservation of health. Chiropractors use highly skilled and precise movements to the vertebrae, the bones of the spine, to improve joint motion and to restore proper movement, improving function. This helps with pain management, increased strength, and mobility to the person. This then leads to increased physical activity, resulting in improved balance, endurance, and greater bone strength.
I've been under chiropractic care for over 30 years, regularly, and I'm 91 years old. And for me, that is why I am the way I am today. One of the things that struck me the most is that if you keep your spine properly aligned, you will not play havoc on your hip or the knee. People have knee replacements and hip replacements is because their body is not aligned. So that to me was a very important thing, is to keep my spine aligned. And when I saw my first x-rays, they were horrible, like a S-shaped. So I carried on with that regularly, and when Dr. McCorduff put me on, start off with was quite a few treatments in a row, and then regularly, 2 times a month, because to me that's the most important part of my life as I'm aging, is to maintain my health.
Benefits of chiropractic care that the maturing population may experience are relief from headaches, neck and lower back pain, improved movement of the neck, mid-back and lower back, decreased progression of degeneration in the joints, help with nerve entrapment, pinched nerves, and also improved posture and improved balance. This will then result in decreasing the risk of falls in our maturing population. For more information on spinal health, contact your local chiropractor, or you can go online to the Canadian Chiropractic Association website or the British Columbia Chiropractic Association website.
Good morning, my name is Bill Reed. I've been in Nelson for over 30 years, retired 10 years ago as the superintendent of schools, and I've been doing a variety of other projects since then. I've been asked to talk about traveling, and so I want to share our most recent trip. It was a trip to Alaska on one of the Alaska cruises. It's a beautiful thing to get up to Alaska, and there's no easier way to do it than on a cruise ship. We've got a major port in Vancouver, and because it's there, we have the opportunity to do last-minute cruises. You can just watch online for special deals, fill those last cabins, get yourself down to Vancouver, and away you go. The cruise we were on was 7 days long. It took in places like Sitka, Juneau, Ketchikan, and the Hubbard Glacier. Sitka itself features an onion-shaped dome Russian Orthodox church. And the lesson for me there was that I had always known that Russia owned Alaska until it was bought by the USA. I never knew the depth and the extent of the Russian presence there. And the history is amazing. And of course, I'm fascinated by all things history. And so we had a really great time touring the cathedral and seeing how close it represented Tsarist past of the area. Sitka itself is known for its beauty, picturesque views, thriving fishing industry. There are lots of shore excursions, and of course one of the beauties of the cruise was that the ship at every occasion docked right at the city center, and so you could just hop off the ship and be walking downtown. It's a wonderful city with lots to see and do. In the pictures, you'll see some of the places we visited. That includes, for me, if there's a museum, I'm in it. And so I got to see the native arts and crafts, totem poles, and all those sort of things that I enjoy learning about. After Sitka, we moved on to the Hubbard Glacier. I was stunned, absolutely stunned. The ship got within a kilometer of the glacier itself, and what the captain did was he had the ship turn on itself, and so the panorama was the glacier on all sides. The thing about the Hubbard Glacier is that there is frequent calving, meaning chunks of ice fall down into the water, and it's awe-inspiring to see that happen. So we sat for an hour just going on a slow circle, totally mesmerized by the glacier. The next city that we stopped in was Juneau. And Juneau, if you don't know, is the capital of Alaska. And as the capital of Alaska, it's got the Capitol buildings. There's a totem pole there in Barafnikov Park. And what that totem pole depicts is the history of the Russian time. So that's an interesting juxtaposition of First Nations artwork covering off historic time in that state. There's a salmon hatchery in Juneau that we had to do. It was part of the hop on, hop off, so we hopped off there and saw the works that are being done to maintain salmon hatcheries in that area. There was also a place where they were having a wildlife sanctuary and saving. The creature that we saw there was a bald eagle that was injured, and they were protecting it. I gotta say, we did stop in at a bar in Juneau. There was a really old guy, and I think it was muscle memory, but he played the piano like no one ever plays the piano. And he sang and had a blast, and the audience was with him all the way. Just a lot of fun. On we went to Ketchikan, sailing until we got there. And Ketchikan, another fabulous little city. We took in a lumberjack show, and you know, you can see a lumberjack show in Kaslo that's just as good, but we were there, so we took advantage of it. We really enjoyed it. Great shopping in Ketchikan, an interesting place called Creek Street, where it's almost like if you've been to Venice, the houses are on the water and you paddle around them. So there's a boardwalk, and of course you can enjoy a stroll there and go for coffee. Tons of artwork available in all these communities. Couldn't resist buying a little ourselves. So the trip back home was smooth sailing. There's nothing as fabulous as going under the Lionsgate Bridge coming back home. And we definitely recommend, if you got the time, an Alaska cruise. Thanks for watching.
Hello, coming to you from the Nelson and District Seniors Coordinating Society. Today we're with Ira Wintry, who has agreed to do the first episode of our Scratch the Surface segment. Scratch the Surface segment is an idea that we had to get to know seniors in our community a little better. We often see people around that are in town or at events that we see for years, and we never get past the "Hi, how are you?" stage. So we're going to scratch the surface with a few people and get to know their interests and a little bit of their history, and also talk about their 3 favorite songs, which is a good way to get to know people. So thanks for coming, Ira.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to this new experience.
Oh, good. Speaking of new experiences, do you consider yourself to be a risk taker?
Risk taker. Well, for me, a risk taker would be a person who jumps out of an airplane using the parachute she packed herself.
Wow.
Well, I did that over 50 years ago.
Did you?
But I don't really consider myself a risk taker. Okay. I'm more of a person who likes to have new experiences.
Okay. I know that from talking to you here, you've lived in several different countries and worked many different jobs. We talked about how it's a little bit hard to squish it all into one little segment on TV, but what makes you take all those chances of going to live and work in different places?
Well, when you asked me that before, a conversation I had with my mother instantly came in. Okay. My mother died in 1992. I was 50 years old. So I was on Salt Spring Island. I was taking a training in a psychotherapy program, and I was out walking by myself, and I can't make decisions, and I'm worrying, and I don't know what to do, and this voice comes in and says, "Oh, just do it." Okay. And I got a real lecture from my dead mother. Oh. And she was right. Yeah. Mothers are always right. Just do it.
And so part of the segment that we're doing is people talking about their 3 favorite songs. So what would be one of your favorite songs?
Well, I need to think about genre because I love most types of music. Okay. So I want to talk about classical, and I'm going back to my mother. Okay. Because her favorite song was, her favorite music was Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto. Okay. In F sharp major, I think it is. Ba 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 ba. But so any kind of classical choral. I've been in many choirs. Okay. So doing all the things that you've done, how do you decide what to do? Well, you know, that's a good question, and I've been trying to figure out my last third of my life, all the things that I did and places I've been.
Yep.
And then I was listening to an interview on CBC Radio, and somebody said, curiosity makes for a marvelous hobby.
Oh, yes.
So it's curiosity and an insatiable need to learn and understand.
Okay.
So that's, everything is just do that. So I can tell you about a couple of jobs I had in different countries.
Sure.
Would you be interested
Oh,
in that?
definitely, yeah.
So both of them came from an 8.5 by 11 ad on a wall.
Oh, like a poster.
Poster. So I was living in Sedona, Arizona, and there was a poster on the wall, and it said, a guide to go down and work with the Quechua and Aymara indigenous spiritual teachers and healers in Peru and Bolivia.
Oh, wow.
I can do that.
You said that?
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
I organized the people, and we went down with Ellen Leon and had these marvelous experiences with these indigenous spiritual healers 3 times.
3 times?
3 times I took groups down.
Oh, that's incredible.
And the other job off the wall was a teaching position in China.
Oh, wow.
So I was over there for 2 years, 3 different jobs in 3 different cities.
Amazing.
So I learned a lot about the Chinese culture,
Oh,
just
wow.
off of a poster. So the lesson is, keep your eyes open and your bags packed. You never know where you're going to end up.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
So what would be your second song choice?
Well, another genre, reggae.
Oh, cool.
It's such a happy music. It just makes you want to dance and go down to the beach and do stuff, right? And a lot of these kinds of music that I like are attached to stories.
Okay.
So whenever I hear a reggae song, I'm back on the Hopi Mesas in New Mexico because I was studying with a 2-horned Hopi priest on the mesas.
Oh, my.
And they have a brand new beautiful rec center, and they had 3 reggae bands one afternoon. And one would come out and play for an hour, and as they played off, the second band would come on, and it was just dancing and joy.
Oh, wow.
So that's why, reggae, anything.
Okay. And the next question is, what's on your bucket list?
Well, if my body could do it in a flash, I'd go back to Machu Picchu.
Okay.
I was there 3 times, spent 10 days there.
Wow.
And I still didn't get to it all. And it's my very favorite place in the whole
Oh,
world.
wow. So coming to the end of the interview now, we're going to do the last song that you like.
Well, I'm going to pick Leonard Cohen.
Oh.
He's been around since Suzanne. Remember Suzanne? Remember that song? Suzanne takes you down to a place by the river.
You can hear the boats go by. You can spend the night beside her. And you know she's half crazy. That's why you wanna be there. And she feeds you tea and oranges that come all the way from China.
I really appreciate you coming, Ira. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope to talk to you again.
Well, we're here a lot because I see you all the while.
And thank you again for all your volunteering that you do here too with the teeth program. It's really nice.
And so thank you for the opportunity to have this new experience.
Yes, it's another new
always
experience.
another one to have.
Thank you very much.
All right.